You're watching State of the Race. In studio, we have Odoyo Wide, Ambrose Weda, and Joy Brendam Divo in studio. We're looking at the political happenings today. And just before we took that break, we were making a clarification on whether or not IEBC will remain mum as the results come in at the National Tallying Center. So we're all in agreement. There will be a number scrolling, yes, and there won't be silence per se. So NASA, through some a press that has been signed by James Orengo, who is the NASA National Coordinating Committee, is part of the NASA National Coordinating Committee, says it would appear the IEBC intends to bury itself in a bunker at Bomas on 8th of August 2017 and then come out into the auditorium a day or two later to announce results which have not been received and tallied in an open and transparent manner. In effect, the country will be kept in an agonizing suspense as results are, quote, cooked and doctored, end of quote. Joy.
That is as a result of the confusion that Ezra Chiloba created day before yesterday when he met the party officials and other people involved in the elections talking about election preparedness. Because that particular aspect of declaring the results is something that the Commission had discussed, but the information had not yet been packaged in a way that ought to have been released. He released it almost anecdotally. It was like almost, oh, and by the way, we are not going to be making any announcement until the final tally has been done, and then we will declare the winner. Now, when he did that, it was not a situation where people could clarify what he had said.
Yeah, until today when Chebukati now.
And that is why Chebukati had to come out now in a presser to address it, to even take questions, to be able to clarify. Okay. So the initial reaction would be what we are seeing from NASA, because that sounds like, why would we be quiet and we are calling for free, fair, credible. Why would we be quiet for 48 hours?
Okay, so as per what we now know, does NASA have a reason to worry?
They don't. In
because
fact,
the numbers will be
right now what they should be doing, they should be training their party agents, training their observers to know how that KIMS kit works, to know how the information is input, to ensure that before send is hit, the correct information has been fed into the kit. That's what they should be doing now, because once the returning officer hits send, even if there's no network, the information is locked. Done. And the moment they find satellite or Safaricom or Airtel, Shika's network like this, that is what will be brought to the tallying center.
Whether?
I think my big brother, Honorable Orengo, is just being alarmist and reckless.
No, but maybe he was reacting to what happened.
Let me just say so. If he got some information in the cloud, the way he seemed to have gotten, he should have sought clarification from IEBC, written and say, we hear from the cloud where we have a tallying center that there is something. Please let us know. Please let us know what are you going to do. Instead of themselves going into a bunker, manufacturing theories that the IEBC will be in a bunker and they'll be doing it. So the correct position is that they got a court order. There's NASA people gagging IEBC from any role in the presidential ballot counting. And they said at the constituency. So IEBC is also saying, because there's that order, we will only add what they bring to us.
And display it.
Display it. We will not announce it until we add and then we announce the place. So please go and tell my big brother. Alarmists is not good
Linda,
for this country at this time.
You can't give Ambrose so much time to disparage Orengo.
But
He's
I am
senior.
giving you
that
time.
That is senior. You must be careful, one. Orengo is your senior. But remember...
Baba to take he misled Baba.
But remember, James Orengo and the NASA brigade was reacting to the earlier information given by Ezra Chiloba. But this new clarification that they have gone and sat back and said, we are going to embarrass ourselves here, let's rewind on this thing. He had not gotten it. But remember, something is happening here very cheekily. These people keep coming with new rules as if we don't have electoral laws, as if we had never done any elections before. Coming to tell us about how now they will change the way they are transmitting results. Coming to tell us how the agents will not be more than one per candidate. All this is we are being told to prepare us for the bombshell.
Okay, that's the perfect.
We have to have a transparent elections in which we have agents as necessary. Because I heard somebody talking about a political party will only have one agent. The fact that the MCA and the MP are in one political party doesn't mean that the MCA wants the MP to win.
Okay, wait. So let's listen into what Wafula Chebukati had to say on that same matter, the number of agents that will be allowed in a polling station. Do we have the bite of Chebukati? Okay, we'll listen to what Chebukati.
I'll take an example of Jubilee and NASA especially. NASA is a coalition, but the presidential candidate is standing as an ODM candidate. NASA is not a political party, but it is a coalition. So ODM will have an agent for that particular candidate. And I'm also aware that within that coalition, there are many candidates fighting for the same seats within the same coalition in particular places. So that's why we are saying you are entitled to one agent as a political party or as a candidate. Yeah, so that we don't have any misunderstanding. And that's what the law says. We're saying you are entitled to one agent as...
Why disconnected that?
Because there will be feedback, which I don't want to go on air.
Okay.
But what basically he was saying, they were saying that if the result, he says that there will be one agent per candidate. And of course, this touches on adopt a polling station planned by NASA. Joy, what are your thoughts? Wafula Chebukati says there will be one agent per candidate.
We have to be mindful that there are 6 elective positions, so there's already 6 agents. Every position has got several candidates. This time we even have independent candidates. So where before we had, let's say, there were 3 candidates and 3 political parties, so you could have 3 agents multitasking. Now you've got a situation where there's a guy who's running by himself, him alone, and he has his agent there. There are places where you've got up to 35 candidates in that particular polling station who are running. Can you imagine the size of our classrooms, which is where most of us will be voting, and you've got 35 people already sitting inside? It's already intimidation. Add to that now the international observers, the local observers. By the time the thing is done, even your secret ballot is no longer secret. You've got a great cloud of witnesses surrounding you, looking at your every move. So that is why there is need to have a measurement of what is fair for everybody. So if a candidate has got somebody, and if that somebody gets tired, he has somebody can call to replace him, that should be sufficient. There is no need for people to come and guard the vote, because surely what club will they wield to guard that vote? Okay,
Weda, so NASA says they want to prevent electoral malpractice by having their agents there to just guard the flag bearer, Raila Odinga's votes. What are your thoughts?
The law. The law which they passed in Parliament, and ODM was there, and all the law says every candidate is entitled to have one agent inside, accredited by IEBC. Now, if NASA wants to call a rally in each and every polling station, it will be in violation of the law.
But they do it 400 meters away.
Or they do it 400 meters. So these things are regulated by law, which they unanimously agreed. Yeah. Some of them, they sat with President Uhuru and agreed. You remember when they were removing the commissioners? They all agreed, and they were brothers in tandem. Now that other thoughts have come, they want to call rallies in polling stations. It will interfere with the integrity of the process. In fact, it will be committing criminal offenses, which they will be prosecuted, and we are warning them. You will be prosecuted if you went. It's 400 meters away.
And you remember acting CS Matiang'i said, remove them by all possible means. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I think Jubilee and IBC were running too fast before they even understood what this adopt a polling station was.
Please tell us.
Tell us.
I have myself adopted a polling station. What I have done, I have donated 5,000 to NASA to pay the agents at any polling station of their choice.
Okay,
it is not about collecting 10 people and keeping them at a polling station. You remember the biggest problem with the, I think, COD then was that in some polling stations, they did not have agents. So we are adopting a polling station. I have adopted mine.
So by adopting,
I am going to pay the agents
like adopt a light. It's like adopt a light.
I am going to pay the NASA agents at that station. But the number of agents who will be there will depend on how many NASA candidates are there.
Okay.
Yes.
So adopt a polling station does not necessarily mean sending your agents there.
No, sending agents, but paying them. You get it? we must send agents there.
No, the ones required, recognized by IBC.
The Matiangis and the Wedas and the Jubilees were thinking adopting a polling station is taking a gang there to go and
so adopt a polling
people.
station has nothing to do with sending more than one agent to any polling station.
No, it doesn't have.
No, but Linda, you know, one thing you need to realize, those agents have to be prior accredited agents.
Of course they will.
They cannot be random people who are saying, I am the one who's in charge of. So right now, the homework should be, how many polling stations do we have? How many agents do we need? Do we have somebody already manning each station? Is he properly trained to know what to look for while he's there? Or he'll just sit in a chair and doze? Who is his alternate when he needs to take a health break? Those are the logistics the party should be worrying about now. Because if somebody is not accredited, even if he's a party supporters, 400 meters away. If you come anywhere within the vicinity, now that's where Matiang'i rules start affecting you.
Yeah.
And so we need to be aware, because you can, if you have a situation where it becomes a pressure cooker situation, it's 12 o'clock, the people are so many, those who've not yet voted can't even access the polling station. It will even affect turnout.
I don't agree with
it will even affect turnout of the people who have not yet voted.
So,
Linda, I need to clarify something here.
Please do.
Where I don't agree with this Matiang'i and these other people, telling us that the nearest person to the polling station will be 400 meters away. Myself, my home is near a polling station that I used to throw a cup of tea back home after I've gotten into class. So are they going to remove us from my home? So you can stay near the polling station 100 meters. You know 100 meters? One end of the field to the other. But telling people almost half a kilometer away is I think, being nasty to these people.
I think let's clarify this.
Please.
Honorable Matiang'i did not come up with any rules. The law is there that if you are not an agent, official agent,
recognized by IBC,
you cast your vote, then 400 meters. That's not Matiang'i. That's it. Unless you people just want to flout the law.
I need you to read for me that one.
Two, we therefore, from what you have said,
this is not the first time where that's confused me.
Please. Two, you have now clarified that adopt a polling station is about donating money. We are calling upon Baba himself.
Sponsoring the polling station.
Joshua, we are calling upon him to clarify because we thought
I have done it for you.
Now, please, so that the people understand.
That it's
just
not
wait for money being donated by the widows of this country.
Those people
but do not go near the polling station.
Adopt a polling station is sponsoring the agency in that polling station so that we make sure that every polling station of NASA is manned.
Okay, let me see if, because like I mentioned, NASA has responded to some of the pronouncements by IBC today. And in this presser, signed by James Orengo on the agency, says, NASA's adopt a polling station program, and then you'll tell me whether or not it resonates with what you're saying.
Yes.
So he says NASA's adopt a polling station program is being carried in strict compliance with the law.
Correct.
We know the category of persons allowed in the polling stations.
Correct.
The program is based on a voter turnout strategy and on ensuring that the IEBC conducts free and fair elections.
Correct.
It is a matter of lawful and legitimate civic duty. We are concerned that the IEBC and the police are reading from the same script, and in many instances it would appear that the Commission is simply carrying out the dictates of the executive.
That is what I said here.
Okay.
That IEBC and the Jubilee and the police has formed a tag team against NASA.
Okay, so tell me, in terms of, because you're saying what adopt a polling station means is basically giving money. The program is based on a voter turnout strategy.
That is an internal arrangement in NASA, so don't have to announce it all over again.
So
and NASA is still collecting money outside the regulations.
What do you mean outside the regulations?
There was a way that campaign funds were supposed to be collected.
I am not by any law prevented from paying NASA agents anywhere.
So
we want to know the source of this.
So we shouldn't announce it?
Yes.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about this presser by James
You
Orengo?
can see that my learned senior and big brother has entered into linguistic circumlocutions. We will do civic duty in a manner, blah, 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 blah. He is not denying that they wanted to call rallies.
Not rallies, they're going to send agents.
Rallies. So if they're limited to having agents as prescribed by law, that is okay. If they're also limited to having people 400 meters away, even if they bring them, but they do not interfere with the process, that is okay. Now, if they came out clearly and they said that, there will be no problem. But if they are saying that they are going to shout and do all those things and throw money around the way Owidi is saying.
Ambrose, if you are talking about 400 meters,
then that will be illegal.
If you are talking about 400 meters, that is in conflict with the Constitution. It infringes on my right. Wait, it infringes on my right of assembly and live where I want to live, because my home is less than 200 meters from the polling station. Joy, what are they going to do? Can't I have youth in my home?
Joy, please.
Why you have yes. If it is not 400 meters, then Matiang'i will meet.
So are they going to remove me from even myself, I will be there.
By any means
necessary.
Okay, let's stop talking about that. Olympic primary. There are flats where people are living right there on the edge of the school. This is a nonsensical law. What do you mean 400 meters?
No, but the thing is this, if, for example, with this case, you're in your home with your wife having a cup of tea, of course you're not in violation of anything, because the big idea is having people far away enough so that those who need to access the polling station later do not have any obstruction or intimidation. But if people are milling around, we have voted, we are finished, money. And they're milling around, then somebody might come look at the situation and decide, you know what, maybe it's not safe for me to go. Or maybe the police decide they're dispersing them, running battles, tear gas. I am a mama coming from the market with my baby on my back, I see tear gas. So it is also meant to protect the turnout for the candidates themselves. So the law in itself, keeping that berth of 400 meters, is ensuring, even if you're having your meeting, you're far enough away to be removed from where the action is.
Let's help Kenyans.
I think we have no idea of 400 meters.
Actually, you are allowed.
We have no idea. There is no polling station which will not have a residential or office or some structure less than 400 meters from it.
And that's why I'm saying, if you're in your house, which is less than 400 meters away, and you are not congregating with anybody, it's just you and your family, then you're actually safe, because there's no
during the election.
No, it's not meant to disperse you. But now if you decide, my home is here and you people are now all my guests.
Clarification. So if your home is within the 400 meters and you're just in your home, you're a family, of course, without young men and women milling around your home, you're fine.
You should be fine, yes. Be fine. Okay. Because the big idea is that, is that congregation, that assembly.
In the village where I come from, in the school where we vote, there is a tree nearby where we all sit there, bungeletu. You're not going to remove us from that association because nearby people are casting votes. The only problem is if we block the gate or the door to the polling room.
Now let me tell you where the problem is. They congregate near that tree.
Under a tree.
They are holding a small rally. Then they say, there comes Mr. Weda and Uhuru.
And we know.
And they are all alone walking. And then they are there, 400 of them. Surely,
what would
good sense require that you retreat and you don't vote that single vote for Uhuru. That's why Matiang'i and the law says, go away, please.
I will see how he will deal. I will see how he will deal with the polling
station in Nairobi and cast that vote.
I will see how Matiang'i will deal with the polling stations.
There are also other wedders for Raila in Ichaweri. There are Raila's people in Ichaweri, and there are many of them are Uhurus. So if they mill around and they say, unaona huyo mtu ya nani, you will scare people. So that is why it's being said, the law said,
400 meters.
On matters of election, please stay 400 meters away.
Okay.
But those who are taking Uji like Owidi in their home with Rabon, then they're okay. Nobody will interfere with them. Nobody.
Ambrose.
Okay. Listen, we need to wrap this up. So let's move away from the IBC and 400 meters and people milling under a tree and really walking and trying to see if they can cut his vote. All right, let's look at voter turnout. It's a concern, and especially in areas that have issues with security. So let's listen into what NASA leaders had to say about a curfew that has been put in Lamu, Garissa, and Tana River because they are concerned that that will affect voter turnout in the August 8th general election. Do we have that?
Njama ya kujaribu kuiba kura, kuzuia wakaaji wa Tana River kushiriki kwa uchaguzi, sivyo? Tunaambia Uhuru Kenyatta, nataka hii curfew ya Tana River iondolewe mara moja. Nataka hii curfew ya Tana River iondolewe mara moja.
Okay, so Unfortunately, we've just got to listen to the last bit of NASA's flag bearer, Raila Odinga there. And he's concerned. He says, when you put a curfew 2 weeks to the general election, of course, it's going to affect voter turnout. There will be intimidation because there will be lots of security officers on the ground. Owidi, what are your thoughts in terms of voter turnout and the curfew? And they're now calling for that curfew to be lifted.
I think the only script that the Jubilee administration did not change are the tricks they used at the coast in the last general election. They started by this insecurity throughout the coastal strip. And we were having curfews and people being bombed in daytime and policemen being killed at police stations. And then on the final day, they capped it with the killing of a Land Rover load of policemen in Mombasa. This ensures that when you wake up, and the first news you get is policemen themselves, not civilians, have been killed, you're not going to vote. And if you finally gain courage to go and vote, you will do it at 2 o'clock, a time that is not enough for everybody to vote. So you end up with a voter apathy in that region where there is artificial insecurity. In fact, I'm even worried these people would
what
even...
you've just said.
You want to wrap your mind about it?
I'm trying to wrap... No, just go on.
I'm giving you time to do that. But I'm even worried that one of these fine days, IEBC may pop up with fewer ballot papers in some areas which are NASA strongholds. This, I must say, on TV, because this is exactly what happened in the Jubilee nominations. They first sent out, where there are 500 people, they sent out ballot papers 200. And I think that is their trick. If they import it into IEBC, which is their tag team partner, I think we are in for a disaster on the voting day.
Well, allow me to say this. I feel sad in my heart.
I wanted you to be sad
that
now.
In the quest for power and votes, some leaders do not give a damn. They don't give a hoot. They say whether you are killing each other, whether there is death, remove the curfew so that people come. Whether they kill themselves in the process, I don't care. What I want is power. Very sad. Why do I say so? This is not the first time that a curfew has been imposed. It has been there even when elections were not in the offing. Now, this is not a curfew against NASA supporters. It's a general curfew that affects both Jubilee and NASA and Ukot and Wainaina and the rest. It is about national security, security of the individuals. The very reason why Honorable Raila Odinga and Honorable Mwai Kibaki decided to send our troops to Somali, security. Now, because elections are coming in 2 weeks, they say, give that aside. Remove it, let them kill each other, let them be killed, but we want them to vote. The living ones should vote. I think that is very wrong.
Okay.
It will affect turnout. You get it? But if that is the cost of preserving lives, if that's the cost of maintaining security, so be it. Some of our brothers and sisters are dying in Somalia to keep us safe and to keep these leaders safe and dancing in their rallies. Even when Honorable Raila was speaking, you could see tough men behind him, security in uniform. They have put their lives so that they are safe. Please let us say thank you to these people who have put their life in front for us to be safe.
Joy, do you get the sense that the issue of security is now being politicized?
It is, because if you think about it, there is a reason why the curfew is there. First and foremost, the curfew is dusk to dawn. It's not all day long, nobody can move. So it means during the hours when the polling stations will be opened, there is freedom of movement. People are free to go and vote and go back home. There's ample time between 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. for you to go and vote. Now, the other strategy that the IEBC has employed is that every polling station has no more than 700 voters, meaning if everybody takes about an average of 1.5 minutes to carry out the voting exercise, the 700 people should be able to complete the exercise in a little under 5 hours. If that happens, then there'll be ample time for people to come and go home. Now, once the curfew takes effect, only the agents will be protected within the stations where they're doing the counting and the polling, and the people will be safe in the houses. That way, if anybody is found loitering in the street, they are counted as an enemy and dealt with accordingly. That's what curfew does. It says if you're a legitimate person, stay in the house, so that if the military people find you in the street, they assume you're a bandit, you're an enemy of the state, and then they deal with you accordingly.
So even with the curfew being imposed, people can still vote 6 a.m. to
5 p.m.
To 5, is it?
Yes, it's 5 p.m.
6:30 up to 6:30.
Polls close at 5 p.m. They only extend if you opened late.
Okay.
But if you open at 6 a.m., you close at 5 p.m. So once you close at 5 p.m., it's still daylight hours. You'll be able to get back home. And the ones who remain in the polling station, who are accredited agents, will be given security to carry out the counting and the tallying. So the curfew in itself will affect turnout. For example, if you come from far and you're apprehensive, you'll not get back home before curfew comes in. Maybe those ones will not be able to vote. But for the general public, the curfew actually helps them to be able to go vote and come back home in safety. So if the intention was to help people to not vote, the curfew would have covered some of the hours when people are voting. But now it is dusk to dawn.
Okay.
I think, Joy, that is oversimplifying it. Curfew is a sign of demonstrating to people that there is insecurity. You be careful. Don't even come out. When there is curfew in an area, you will even find the number of people walking on the road in the day are very few. So telling us that because the curfew is only at night, people will come out to vote. Curfew is a way of demonstrating to people that now you are living in an insecurity zone.
These are people who have had curfew before, surely. I doubt they don't understand how it works.
No. Is it?
This curfew is demonstrating to the people that there is insecurity outside. What I want is the government's deal with this insecurity and
by
lift the curfew.
withdrawing the curfew and letting Al-Shabaab cut. The other day they cut the next.
How long did
Michuki
take to deal with the violence in Enosupukia? One day.
Okay.
I thought you chose the best minister to deal with insecurity. In fact, he should have been in that forest. It's called what? Boni. He should have been there, directing the forces to deal with that thing once and for all. Then we have a free and fair election.
Okay.
This is security. Let me not talk.
All right, listen. Final sentiments. Joy, let me begin with you. So the Council of Governors wants the IEBC to publish the quantity and serial numbers for gubernatorial ballot papers for each polling station in all counties. What are your thoughts?
These are just imaginations. I don't see where they're coming from. Because if you understand how the polling station is managed, then you will see there is no need for that. Because when your agents go into the station at 5 a.m. because they have to go early, the first thing they will do is they will look at all the ballot boxes, ensure that they're all empty, have them sealed, and leave them in place. The next thing they do is they look at the books themselves, and they see, we have serial number this, to serial number this, to serial number this. So each book they note down the serial numbers. Then, after people have voted, now that we're using KIMS, you'll see this polling station, how many people did we identify? 2,000 people we identified. Then they go to the books, before they even open the boxes, and they look at the serial numbers. With the serial numbers that have been plucked out, how many do they come to? They tally that fast. We have 2,000 tallied. So they expect in the ballot box, they will be finding 2,000 votes. So there is no need to have all the serial numbers. What will you do with that information? It's not helpful information. The person in the polling station, that's what I'm saying, your agents need to understand what they're going there to do. If they just go to sit and chew gum and take their juice and Red Bull and wait for evening, some of that information is what will be passing by them, and even if there's a discrepancy, they will not know to flag it.
Pick it out.
Yes.
Okay.
In that transparency, Joy, I do agree with your reasoning very well. The only problem I still have with IEBC until I am sitting here is why we do not have a published voter register showing my name and my ID number.
Why do you want your ID number in the public domain?
Okay,
let me tell you. It is not just mine. If I want to check why, I may want to know why Kiambu, with a small population, has 1.2 million voters. So when I check these numbers, because we found some ID numbers that were only 4 digits, 3 digits. We want to see them.
So you want to see the ID numbers?
We want to see them because they are fake voters in those registers.
Whether
fear-mongering,
you get the final word?
They are fear-mongering all over.
Yeah.
On the Council of Governors. I thought they should have mooted the activities because some of them already lost and are not even contesting. So where are they coming from? They are now just candidates. Okay? And I thought the contest is not hot there. It is the presidential vote. These are the ones, they want to divert our attention when we are talking about the presidential vote. Nobody in Nairobi will want to steal a vote in Busia. So please, in terms of the voter register, it's online. And it's also maybe...
There are no ID numbers there, that's the problem.
They're truncated.
Yes.
But you agree it is online and it is good.
It makes no sense if the ID numbers are not there.
All I can say is this. We are 12 days to elections.
Yes.
Let us minimize propaganda, lies, and stories that make people panic.
And increase transparency.
And
increase transparency.
And I also call upon IEBC
to over-communicate.
To actually
they should
shower people, beat
yes.
us, hit us with information, counter-information, so that...
Linda,
and then we, as the media, to clarify as much as we can.
As possible.
Like we're doing now.
Correct.
Clear the
Yes, but otherwise, people of Kenya, do not fear, do not be afraid, have courage. Kenya will win.
I need to wrap this up.
Linda, even before you wrap it up, I challenged IEBC to explain to us why they are not publishing the ID numbers. Then Akombe came online in the air and said they are not publishing it because they want to preserve the privacy of the voters. Then the next day, they went publishing names of names presented by political parties for nomination with ID numbers. What happened about preserving the privacy of people?
And that's, with that question, let's wrap this show up on that bombshell. This has been State of the Race, people. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, Odoyo Wide, Ambrose Weda, and Joy Brendam Divo. Thank you so much for your time. As usual, as always, it's important that we clarify some of these things for Kenyans. I mean, we have, 12 days to the election. We'll do this as much as we can to clear the air, to avoid any confusion in terms of the utterances of politicians. And we'll try to clear some of the utterances as well being made by IEBC, just to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what's going on in the country. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. I'm Linda Ogutu.